Alrighty, so final boss Chandler is here, and I have been messing with him for the better part of an hour, and it is honestly a lot harder than I was anticipating. I actually have this as a pre-recorded sort of like I'm watching the footage from when I did my original video. It just ended up being really long, so I wanted to cut it down for you guys because I know you guys don't want to sit through like a 20-minute video on a final boss because that doesn't make any sense. If you're new to the channel, by the way, feel free to subscribe. We're going to be going over all of the new anniversary stuff that's coming out as it hits global and everything, and they just announced a live stream for the new festival character, which should be out in another like 2 days or so, and we'll be doing a live reaction to that whenever it comes out in the morning for me, and I'll make sure to do like a highlights video of what all they show off and everything after that, just in case somebody doesn't want to sit through the live stream. So if you want to chill out on the channel, get news for the game and everything, I upload all the time and stuff like that. It'd be cool if you subscribe because we're almost at 15k. But either way, this new final boss has got some very interesting things about him. One of the biggest things is that you can't use HP attribute characters, light or dark attribute characters, because they gain 100% damage dealt to those characters, and they take 100% damage, or 100% less damage from those characters as well. Another thing to note is that he takes less damage the fuller his HP bar is, which is kind of interesting. I think that might be their way of trying to prevent maybe Abyss. I'm not 100% sure. A lot of the times whenever these final bosses come out, Abyss ends up being the big, sort of fast farm mechanic. I don't know if anybody's tried it too much yet. There is a fast farm team that we did try out a little bit later on. I'll show you guys that as well. But basically, he has these two side units, and in the first phase, you're going to want to try to make sure that you're not killing them off. This is the team that we're going to be using. This is the points team. It is full Archangels, except for you're not using Mael, which I guess is good because these are a little bit more accessible, maybe. Technically, Margaret is on the new starter rush banner, which is nice, so if you don't have her, that might be a way for you to get her. Unfortunately, you have to go to the 600 mileage, and that won't be for a couple more days, but hey, it is what it is. So this is the points team that we're using. Obviously, Archangels just get a ton of extra stats and stuff like that from all of their passives and Holy Relics working together, but yeah, if you go into the phase, he does have like, taunts and stuff like that that you have to worry about from time to time, but they don't even really do too much damage, so you don't really have to do a whole lot of like workarounds there or anything. A big thing to note in this first phase that I found out from running it several times is that they're going to put these corrosion stacks on you, and the side units will actually heal depending on the damage that the corrosion deals. So if you want to prevent them from healing, which you don't want to kill them if possible, because then you're going to get a lot of stat buffs that you don't want to have to deal with, and it just becomes impossible at that point. But if you can cleanse off the corrosion stacks and just do like a light AoE attack, maybe a Sariel, Sariel AoE, so that way you get his Holy Relic proc if you have it, and just a little bit of damage out on them, it'll actually prevent the one on the left. He actually has a passive where if he's at full HP, whenever his turn starts, it puts 3 ignite stacks on your team, which is bad because Chandler uses this move right here, which is actually a blaze skill, so it does more damage depending on the amount of ignites you have on you. So basically, the whole gist of this points team, from my understanding after running it several times and actually being able to finally win with it, which I didn't even get a great score. I got like 6,000 points. So just know that this isn't like me being like, hey, I got, top 1% or whatever. I just try to use the points team at least once or twice, so that way I can try to get a decent enough score to actually get the decent rewards, because more than likely you're just trying to get to top 50%, so that way you can actually get the Chandler cosmetic piece for whenever the event ends. But yeah, you're basically just trying to max out their stuff. Use as many buff cards and stuff as you can, so that way you max out Margaret's stuff. Use Sariel AoEs and stuff like that, so you can crit and actually get his stacks going and everything. But yeah, it's the first phase isn't too bad. Just make sure that you're using single targets. Unfortunately, the big gimmick here to this whole fight is that single targets are kind of just the way to go, unfortunately. So in the first phase, you don't want to kill the side units off, because then they'll get basic, or like a lot of big stat buffs. And in the second phase, the side units can't die, and if you use AoEs, the one on the right here, or technically on the left when it's your turn, he actually gets a 2-turn taunt if he takes damage at all, which means that you now cannot hit Chandler with single target abilities, which is very, very bad. Also, going into the second phase, you get these gray ultimate damage decrease buffs, or debuffs technically, which is really bad. I think it's a total of 500%, but it's split up into two different buffs. One of them's 300, one of them's 200. One of them is, from my understanding, it's indefinite. It doesn't expire, and then the other one expires after 2 turns. So if you can just try to hold out, use single target abilities for like 2 turns, and then get like a Margaret or a Sariel AoE off, or a single or ultimate off on the middle unit, you should be a lot better off. That's going to help you a lot. I probably skipped over a little bit here. One of the big things to worry about is the Oath of Combat as well. Oath of Combat for this one, you just want to take the first 3 because don't worry about food. You don't want to use Escanor anyway because he's a light unit and it's going to hinder you. Clearing within 9 turns is really hard if you're not using ultimate moves, which is the only reason that I'm using the clear without food. If you think you can get good enough RNG and you want to go for like a max points run, I think that the ultimate moves one would be better off if you can just like get really lucky with your AoE skills or your single target skills, so that way you can actually go into the second phase and kill him. But you can see it took me several runs to actually finally get a halfway decent run here, and finally at the end I ran out of single targets. I had to use AoEs, which means that he put the Tauntaun on the left, and luckily before Sariel died, because he had taken quite a bit of HP, I was able to actually kill Chandler off by using just AoE skills, which was very lucky. I hate running the point team on a lot of these fights because it's just really annoying, and most of the time it's very inconsistent, but it's all RNG based. So you can see I got 6,000 score. It wasn't anything too crazy. If we move on, I did end up putting together the fast farm team, which is this one right here. You can see, unfortunately, it's very Mushoku Tensei collab sort of heavy, which is bad because a lot of people skipped it, hoping for Anniversary. I will definitely keep you guys updated on this. If there's any new developments on like point teams or fast farm teams that are more consistent, I'm going to be keeping my eye out because I want to farm this faster anyway. So I'll definitely try to make a video on that. If you have any suggestions or you have any teams that you've used that work, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I'll try them out, and if they're really consistent and work well, I'll definitely try to update you guys on that, make a different video. But you're using Rudius for the big single target damage, you're using Eris and Kizuna as sort of buff units, and if you get lucky here, you can actually get a 2-turn clear even on challenge difficulty, but the problem is you need to run crit chance food. I didn't run crit chance food for the first little bit, and you kind of have to get lucky with critting with Rudius's card, and then depending on your RNG going into phase 2, you also need extra Rudius cards if possible. So if this is the run that I think it is, which I'm not entirely sure it is. I don't think it was because I didn't crit here. I did a run where I got really solid crits, which was really nice. It must be back here, I guess, a little bit. So basically, you just don't want to use at least one AoE card with Kizuna, so that way you get your passive stack, your attack-related stats, and then you use a... Well, this is definitely not it. You use a single target attack with Eris, so that way you get a little bit of extra damage off, and then the last card is the Rudius card, and if it crits, it kills, it does a lot of damage, and everything is, hunky-dory, peachy, good to go. But if it doesn't crit, it's obviously not going to be nearly as good, and it's going to take you more than 1 turn, which is really bad because for some reason my Eris was taking a ton of damage. I don't know if it's the fact that I have her much less invested into, or the fact that she's on like an attack defense set or whatever, but she was taking a lot of damage. So you can see here, I actually got really lucky and I crit on the second phase as well. I did another run after this one where I did not crit nearly as consistently, and I was still able to beat it, but it was pretty lucky, and it ended up being like a real mess. So you can see he kills off Rudius here at the very end, and then I'm relying on an AoE skill from Eris to actually finish off the last little bit of HP there. So this fight's really annoying. Like I said, if you have any suggestions or better teams or anything that somebody else comes up with, if you see somebody post a better team, let me know and I'll try it out and everything so I can keep you guys updated. But either way, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys don't struggle too hard because it's really ridiculous. And yeah, hopefully we can all farm this quickly and get the exchange shop over with, because I like the outfit and everything that Chandler gets, but boy oh Hellboy, these new final bosses, man, they are extremely annoying sometimes. So either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys later on. Peace. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye bye.